Mr. Kevin Feige. All right, so what's going on with Kevin Feige? Well, he's been talking. He's been doing some talking, and then, of course, a couple of days ago, this article right here from Variety showed up, and he talks about, of course, the future of the MCU and a lot of things, and barely scratching the surface, which... Interesting choice of words there, Kev. We've barely scratched the surface, Kevin Feige reflects on Marvel Studios' impact since Iron Man. Oh, barely scratched the surface? You don't even have Iron Man anymore. How is that barely scratching the surface? So, yikes. Disney purchase of Marvel opened the door to live-action blockbusters, including 2019's Avengers Endgame, the second highest-grossing film ever. And while some may bemoan superhero saturation, it's important to remember that a risk is to build a cinematic universe around comic book characters when Iron Man, the first film from Marvel Studios, premiered. 15 years, 31 movies, 25 TV shows, and nearly $30 billion later, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been often imitated, yet none have proven as successful. You hear that, Gun? Jimmy Guns? From the start, it's been guided by Kevin Feige, CCO of Marvel Entertainment and president of Marvel Studios, whose first producer credit was an associate producer on 2000's X-Men, and who is now coming full circle by bringing Hugh Jackman's Wolverine back in the fold with next year's Deadpool 3. Even after all this time, Kevin Feige says he remains as enthusiastic as the day he started. I feel so lucky that I get to do this job. Every costume fitting, when we see the actors transform for the first time, there's always this moment of, ah. It's so incredible to take these characters and bring them to life on screen. But that's not it. That's not all that Kevy Pants talked about, too, when it came to everything. That was just the main article right there and talking about that. But he does, again, the whole thing was like you barely scratched the surface. But I'm like, I think you scratched the surface a lot. I mean, again, you went through your whole Iron Man. Now he's dead. You have your Steve Rogers Captain America. Now he's not there anymore. So I think you've scratched the surface pretty well there, Kev. Not to mention you had the Incredible Hulk do this crazy little thing, and now he's, he's Smart Hulk, and we all love that, right? Right? Smart Hulk. Okay. Apparently, some podcast or whatever the heck, it was being spread around this weekend that he actually talked about how Secret Wars is going to act as a soft reboot for the MCU. Now, we've been talking about rebooting the MCU for a little bit. I think they should do a reboot before they bring in X-Men and Fantastic Four. I think that would be the smart way to go. That way you have a Marvel Cinematic Universe that has Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and a T'Challa and a lot of the characters, while you also have your mutants and your Fantastic Four. I mean, I think a lot of us want to see Tony Stark and Reed Richards go back and forth with each other with some, Peter Parker right there as well. I don't know. We just want to see something like that. This one made me laugh right here because apparently Marvel Studios reportedly thought they put out a banger when it came to Ant-Man 3, of course, Quantumania, and were shocked when it was panned by critics. I mean, they thought that was going to be a real winner. Okay, interesting, very interesting. And then the biggest thing that was also reported when it came to Kevin Feige. Tried to find a source, but it was mainly just a tweet that I saw, and I'm not sure it's true, but it actually sounds like it's true, is the fact that getting a certified fresh Rotten Tomato score is reportedly very important to Kevin Feige. And we already, we saw that report earlier this year that some fuckery was happening when it came to Rotten Tomatoes and, paying critics and all that. And we've always suspected that something was happening when it came to Marvel Studios and making sure to sway these critics. And it's not, and paying off a critic is not just like, let me get your Venmo, or let me just send you an invoice or something. It's not just that. Paying off critics is also just sending them cool shit, as in cool merchandise shit. 100%. I mean, let's face it, we see that around there. We see people that, that are on websites or have YouTube channels, they get sent some really cool toys, they review them, and then, of course, that might sway their review to be a little bit more positive than it actually is. I'm just saying, It's very easy to sway like an influencer nowadays with sparkly looking toys.